I snuck up behind Heimdall and he turned around and then I hit him with what seemed like a lazy jab and I knocked him out instantly like I did Baldur, and then after that Thor got angry and he powered up to full power and I shouted, "Demos, use your full power, brother," and then Demos smirked and he screamed Kaioken, and then instantly a red energy and light exploded all over Demos and surrounded his entire body, and then Thor flew towards Demos, but then Demos moved faster and he threw a massive uppercut into Thor's chin, knocking him out cold, and now all of them were down and they weren't getting back up, and me and Demos were victorious. And then me and Demos revealed a bit of our true powers for a little bit, but then we went back to normal, and then Odin asked Zeus what kind of fighting techniques were those, Zeus, and then Zeus said, "I don't know, I guess that's some kind of fighting techniques that my sons developed on their own," and then Odin said, "Fascinating, it seems like your sons are fighting geniuses," and then Zeus said, "My sons have super intelligence, they were born with it," and then Odin said, "What wonderful news to me," and then Zeus asked Odin, "What about your sons and grandsons?" and then Odin said, "Let them sleep it off, they will be fine in a day or two, and besides we don't need any other unnecessary interruptions," and then Demos married Thrud, and then I married Freya and Faye, and then I made love to them both, and then my daughter Calliope married Baldur, and because of this union between Olympus and the Norse land, Olympus became stronger, and so did the Olympian gods along with me and Demos and all the other demigods in ancient Greece, and even the demigods in Greece became immortal because of all the excess power in Olympus, and since all the Olympians are more powerful, I now have all the powers I need to rewrite everything like a true god, and the Olympians could now take their destiny into their own hands. Unlike Ares, the rest of the Olympians are truly free. Even Hades didn't have to stay in Tartarus and he can leave and go to Earth anytime he wants to, and because of this him and Persephone had a better marriage, and Hades even married Demeter, and both women had many of Hades' children, and he was now happily married and very pleased with his new body, and unlike Zeus he didn't have sex with many different women, instead Hades stayed faithful to his wives Demeter and Persephone, and then Hades looked up to the sky and he smiled warmly and said, "I owe you one nephew," and then he asked himself, "I wonder where my brother Zeus and Kratos are now," and then some time later my sons Atreus and Dagon were born, and my daughters were born from Freya, and I named my daughters Shakira and Yamoshi. I had 4 children in all, and after this I made sure Faye didn't die this time because I gave her true immortality, and I also did the same for Freya, and that changed everything because with them still alive it altered everything in Asgard, and even if Ragnarok did start, it would be stopped quickly because Freya was now free of Midgard and she can go wherever she wants to now thanks to me, and Faye is truly immortal, and I'm the most powerful god in existence, and I am Kratos, the Greek god of war, and over the years I trained my brother Demos to achieve greater powers, so he no longer needs his sword, all he needs is his hands, his fists, and because I reshaped everything in the God of War universe, I made sure that nothing bad would happen and the twilight of the gods would never begin because I was there to stop it all from happening, and I stopped Ragnarok, and I also stopped the twilight of the gods before it ever began, and I changed everything for the better, and that ends my story here for now.